the U.S. Open underway. I was watching some of it this morning before I left, and Tiger Woods teed off real early, which is always good when Tiger's back in the tournament. The majors are always better just because everybody's there now that golf is so split between the PGA and LIV. But whoever the governing bodies of golf are, and we have no idea who that is because nobody lets us know, and it's just this giant mystery of who's going to take this over and join these two leagues back together. They really got to figure out a way to get everybody back together because look, nothing against Scottie Scheffler, right? He's number one golfer in the world. I'm not taking anything away from the dude's skill. Like, he's obviously incredible.
Right.
But
he's boring.
He makes guys like Justin Thomas look like John Daly. Like, he's that boring of a guy. Like, there's just no personality there at all. Like, literally the most exciting thing I think that's ever happened in that guy's life was him getting arrested pulling into a golf tournament. And so, like, that's why I'm saying we got to get the LIV guys back, because there's all your characters, you know what I mean? Like the Sergio Garcias, the Patrick Reeds, the Bryson DeChambeaus, the Brooks Koepkas, you know, even if you thought they were a dick, like, they were at least, you wanted to watch them.
Right.
And so, yeah, right now golf's got a big problem. I mean, it's nice this week because it's the majors, so you have everybody there, and Tiger's in it, even though he's probably going to struggle to make the cut if he even makes the cut. But yeah, it's just the PGA Tour is boring right now, and it reflects in the ratings. It's bad right now.
So with the whole split with LIV Golf and with the PGA Tour, like, is it only the majors they play together in?
Yeah, and only and a lot of those LIV guys can't, if they weren't already qualified for it or didn't already have the world ranking points or aren't a past champ or didn't get, like Sergio Garcia had to qualify to get into the U.S. Open this week. He had to go play a qualifier and to move on, which is, you think, oh yeah, he should be there no matter what. Right. You know what I mean? But yeah, no, the way it's set up right now is to kind of penalize those guys that went there and took the money, which I get to a degree, but you know, as golf fans, at the end of the day, nobody cares. They literally just want to see the best play against the best.
Well, yeah. I mean, I know there was this whole moral outcry of like, I'm going to take the money, I'm not going to take it. You know, I think Joe and I have talked about that on the show. It's like, if someone's offering you generational wealth, you're most likely going to take it. You know, I understand Saudi Arabia and the whole thing there. What's your thoughts on most of the money we know is probably dirty money, blood money, whatever.
Without getting too into the weeds on this stuff, it's not like the PGA or the NBA or, you know, a lot of these other major sports organizations don't have ties to some really messed up shit going on in the world.
Exactly.
So, in the name of money. So it's like, yeah, I understand the detractors against LIV. Like, yes, there's a horrible human rights record there. I completely get that. But at the same time, like, you can't act all sanctimonious on the other side of it too, because it's going on. Like there's some element of that, different levels of that going on, I think, across just about all major sports.
And I mean, I'm not comparing us to Saudi Arabia or China and their human rights records, but the United States isn't like the most perfect country in the world either. So it's like, you know, pick and choose what you want. But at the end of the day, we're watching a sport to enjoy it. And like you said, it's like, just let them all golf together.
And this is completely the PGA's fault that this happened too. Like, if
wasn't it the chairman was against it, then he kind of basically went backwards on his whole talk.
Yeah, it's the PGA pretty much ran a monopoly forever, right? And they're like, oh, no one's going to leave, no one's going to go anywhere. Like, Greg Norman tried to branch out years ago, and then, you know, lo and behold, it all circles back around to LIV, and he gets a whole bunch of guys to go. And so now it's like a reality. Now they have to deal with it. You know, there was, if you recall, the PGA was all staunchly against LIV and everything else. And then all of a sudden it was like out of nowhere, oh, we got to work with them. It's because you have to work with them because you can't afford to fight them in court. It's not plausible. So it's just, but this was the PGA's doing. I think if they'd listened to the players a little bit more, they probably would not have defected. Like, I think Phil Mickelson gave the percentage of money for a tournament that actually goes to the players, you know, in winnings or whatever else. And it was very minute. Like, it's gone up considerably since this has all been, you know, kind of brought to the forefront. But yeah, I mean, it's the PGA's doing.
Well, and guys like Phil need that money. I mean, he's got like $1 billion in gambling debts to pay off. But I don't know if you saw that story, but he has gambled over $1 billion, hypothetically, or supposedly. So
yeah, I mean, well, we know why he went there. Yeah, obviously.
but like when like John Rahm was one of my favorite golfers. You know, won the Masters last year or 2023, and you know, I used to see him at the Memorial every year and stuff like that. Now it's like you won't see him. You won't see him unless they get this merger done or whatever it might be.
No, you won't. Other than the majors, that's going to be it, unfortunately. So yeah, until this happens, which, and again, the whole transparency on it is just complete garbage. So you have no idea what's going on. Like supposedly there's meetings and this is going to be good, and it's a complete cluster.
So what is the answer then? Like, I mean, how do they fix it? Like, especially it's like, I know Rory McIlroy has been the biggest like outspoken guy against Liv,
but he's backtracked a considerably.
Has he? Yes. Okay. But
there's really no easy way to do it. So, but now that these guys have defected, like the PGA Tour wants to set some kind of punishment for them to come back, whatever. Now, meanwhile, they pocketed all that money. Anyway.
Exactly.
So anybody that didn't go is going to be like, man, I probably should have taken the money if we're all just going to get back together at the end. So yeah, it's a real messy situation. There really isn't an easy fix, but as fans, all we want is for everybody to be playing together, because like some of the fields, and Scottie Scheffler has been mopping up on the PGA Tour, and credit to him, great golfer. But like some of the fields he's beaten, it's like I don't know who is on the leaderboard with him.
I was going to ask you too: is that a positive at all that some of these maybe guys that wouldn't make the field at all are getting that opportunity, or is that like, well, they normally would have zero? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it is, and it can be, but at the same time, you know, when you see that and you see the ratings and it's just not interesting to watch, like you're just wishing that some of these other guys were back there playing just to make it more interesting. And I'm sure the tour would love that too, to help with the ratings and stuff. But yeah, I mean, it's helpful. These guys get a chance. It's great, but it's just, yeah, no one's watching and nobody knows who these guys are.
Like we were talking last week about Caitlin Clark and like, you know, the villains now of the WNBA. It's like, you know, Scottie Scheffler, the ultimate good guy in golf. It's like, but yeah, he's kind of just, you know, it's vanilla ice cream when you're going to handles. You know, it's
Tiger Woods got infinitely more interesting when he was banging Denny's waitresses and just when he went off the rails, like he just did.
Yeah.
And then everybody was like, oh, like, and then it became this whole kind of thing for him to kind of come back, you know, he's reckoning
quote banging Denny's.
Like couldn't even go to Perkins or like a nice upscale restaurant.
He's
went to
his
Denny's.
Car. But like everybody's like, oh yeah, man, like Tiger Woods is kind of cool now. Like I'm sure he's
like the ultimate relatable guy.
Yeah.
Banging Denny's waitress.
But he got way more interesting when he became human and he became not robot Tiger anymore. And like, you know, granted, he had to take some extreme measures to get to that point. But again, like, you know, everybody watches every tournament he's in is when he's up there is the highest rated and stuff. Yeah. We need more Tigers. We need more John Daly's. We need more John Rahms. So, you know, I'm not just saying you got to have guys that are just completely, you know,
I'm not a big
rocker, but
I'm not a big Bryson fan, but he's the kind of that villain kind of, or Brooks Koepka. Sometimes they're kind of like they push the edge and they're kind of like, some people love them, some people hate them, but they tune in to watch him
for sure. Yep.
And that's
Peter McGavin.
Exactly.
What you need.
You eat pieces of shit for breakfast.
No.
Yeah, we need some more Shooter McGavins on the tour, and why not? So, I mean, I'm in 100% agreement here. My biggest question is, how do you get someone that has been given $300-400 million compared to a guy that stuck it out on the PGA Tour and was like, I'm gonna take the moral high ground? Is like just a big FU to them? You're getting no money. That teaches the future generations, obviously take the money anytime you get the opportunity.
Yeah, I would think when they all join back together that like everybody's going to get a cut and everybody's going to get more money out of it to the end. But yeah, the guys that, you know, that said no to the however many hundreds of millions are probably like, oh, I really should take it money now. But yeah, it's just, yeah, unfortunately that's going to happen.
I mean, if someone offers you 2, 3, 4, 5, 600 million, whatever, I think Tiger was offered 600 if I'm not mistaken, and he turned it down. Tiger's not someone that needs that money. I mean, if you have $1 billion, what's another 600 More. Well, I'll tell you what, it's 60% of what your net worth is. But
Have you ever been to Denny's? Have you seen the way this is?
I can get those Grand Slam combos for like $8 still. It's a great value even with today's pricing. I mean, I don't know. 600 million would buy you a lot of Grand Slams. I'll tell you that much. So
Bingo!
we do need some more entertainment though. And I will say, like last week, I missed the Memorial for the first time outside of the COVID year for the first time in like 8 or 9 years. And like that made me sad. But at the same time, like you said, some of those major names that I'm used to seeing aren't there. And like last year, I made sure because we were on the 16th. It's a par 3. You look down and it's like you want to see like there's maybe like 8 or 9 guys you like definitely want to see. And John Rahm for me was always one of those guys and wasn't there. So it's like it's a huge letdown.
Yeah, no, I got you. Well, that was my spiel on golf. Thank you for letting me get that off my chest. I was watching this morning. I'm like, man, this is actually nice. There's, Tiger's there, and there's the most of the fields there. All those the guys are playing this afternoon. I mean, the Shambo's up there. Roy McIlroy's doing well just to start too. So yeah, it's cool when they're there for the majors, but we just got to figure out a way to get everybody together all the time.
Who wins this weekend?
I have no idea because the U.S. Open is such a crapshoot. They make the course so hard that a lot of times guys that win it are just the people that survive, not necessarily the best golfers, because you could be off by a couple of inches and you're taking a double bogey instead of a par or a birdie, whatever. And so it's just the U.S. Open is my least favorite of the majors because they make it that way. And that's why you get a lot of one-time major winners because the course is set up so difficult that usually it's just the guy that survives, not necessarily the guy that's playing the best.
It encourages like the, play par, play even par and, you're probably in it on Sunday. So I don't know. What's the I don't even know. What's the high score of the day or the low score of the day?
Right now in the clubhouse, Patrick Cantlay is 5 under. He shot 65 this morning, which is really, really good for that course.
Real good.
I would, if I had to predict a winning score, I'm going to guess probably 5 under, 5, 6 under is probably going to be winning score for the whole thing.
Yeah.
Because he'll backtrack like everybody.
No doubt.
Just because the course is only going to get harder as the week goes on, and in that heat and stuff too, it's going to get drier, and it's going to be pretty silly by the time Sunday rolls around.
And I was telling you, I hadn't seen it because it's Thursday, work day, stuff like that. It's hard to catch the first day unless you're off work or actually at the golf course. But the number 9 hole, I'm not sure what the toughest holes on the course are, but I saw Morikawa chip out of the bunker, literally hit it like 4 inches from the hole, and then it just rolled another 30, 40 feet. So you went from making a birdie to probably going a bogey, like just within, a couple, maybe like a mile per hour or two, just of eating it.
That's the USGA and the US Open in a nutshell right there. I mean, that's what they want. So yeah, it's going to be more carnage over the weekend, which is fun to see a little bit of, but yeah, you still want the best players to, or the guys hitting the ball the best to win. And that doesn't always happen in the US Open.
No, get your shit together, golfers. Yeah. I think we have a new segment though. BJ rants. I like it.
Do it.
I like
it. His rants are the best.
If it's on golf, if it's on stuff I know.
I was gonna say BJ is like the nicest guy, but when we get him going, I like it. Yeah.
You give him some bourbon, he's on.